Okay, all right. So if you have been if you've been working today, you've probably got 1,000,001 things going on in your mind. So just let that all go, let it drop away. If you've got family there, it's probably kind of busy in your house. So let's just try and bring our mind to the same place our body is. Take a nice deep breath and just relax. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. If you're sitting at a desk and your feet are down, make sure they're in a parallel position and your legs are not in any kind of crossed, or the ankles aren't crossed. And if you are sitting in the regular cross-legged meditation position, you could, if you wish, put a couple of cushions underneath each knee and try and raise your sits bones up. 2 to 4 inches is good. Hands in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left, and coral welcome with the thumbs touching. Nice to see you. Shoulders are over the hips. And let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. You can imagine someone's very gently lengthening your spine. And the head is slightly tipped forward. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And if your eyes were open, you'd be looking at a spot about 2 inches ahead. The lips are slightly apart, tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And let's just bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eye sockets, back of the eye, the nose, the cheeks, your mouth. And bring your awareness to the back of the scalp. And very nice to see you in the evening there, Steve. Hope you're doing well. Manuel, hi. Tax season must be calming down. And relax the ears, the inner ear. Hello, Drew. The temples and the jaw. And just bring your attention to the back of the tongue. See if you can let that go. And release any tension in the back of the neck, the shoulders, shoulder blades, upper thoracic region, the throat, chest, belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring your mind to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling, flowing in through the nostrils, and as you're exhaling. Slightly warmer as you're exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, it could be outside the house, whether it's emergency vehicles or animals or birds. Perhaps not birds where you all are. The sun is still up here. And inside maybe you have pets, perhaps you have family in your house. So just allow the sounds of other people living their lives just to kind of dissolve as you refocus your mind on the breath. Try not to engage with the sounds or run towards them or push them away. And then notice your thoughts, this river of mental moments, and try not to engage or judge or, develop a story. And try and put some space in between your thoughts. And let's just sit ourselves down on the bank of our river of mental moments and just watch like an interested, objective observer. And while we're on the bank of this river, we are free from this river. Now let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. And this is our loved ones, our spouses, our children, our really dear friends who are the ones that we call when we've got some kind of emergency, we kind of find ourselves in pain somehow, we don't know what to do. This is the people that we can rely on, who love us, who care for us, and we care for them, love them. And then those people, in contrast, who we have difficulty with, and this ranges from, just feeling slightly irritated in their presence to, they've harmed us, so we tend to want to keep away. And then there's those people in our life who are just absolute, complete strangers. We pass them in the car on the way to work, on our way to the shops. We don't remember that. We don't know their name. We don't probably even remember their face. They're in the store, in the line, at Walgreens, CVS, Safeway, wherever it is you shop. What's interesting about this is that, this friend, this enemy, and this stranger can change place at any time in our lives. And depending on the karma that we have with all these different people, our mind can change about our relationship with them. It can shift. So those people that we have good, constructive, virtuous relationships with, it's a really good idea to be extremely vigilant with those relationships, not taking them for granted, not being careless with these people who are so precious to us. It takes a lot of hard work, past lives, to have these kinds of happy relationships with kind people in your life. So it's really, really good to try and keep that in mind. They are precious, and we need to be careful. And it could be at one time that the person that we think is just our enemy and we don't like them very much and we wish they would just go away, they could end up being our best friend. They could end up being a stranger. And all these people in these different groups, the friend, the enemy, and the stranger, they all wish to be happy just like us. They all wish to be free from suffering just like us. And they all have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So just think today we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life. And there have been, and there is still ongoing trouble all over the world. So if there's something you've read about in the news that's particularly touched you, you can think of these people as we do the Vajrasattva practice. And if there's someone that probably would benefit from doing this practice, but they're not here, wouldn't even think to attend, they're not Buddhist even, you can just bring them by your side and imagine that they're doing the practice here with you. So just remember this, as LAMA YESHE said, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. There's nothing you've done that's so awful that we can't deal with it. And, we create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity with our mind. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, or in any of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then, in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, actions. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we never know when this is going to ripen, which is kind of the scary part. So we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. Logically, it makes sense. Then we pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret our delusions, our anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, okay, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who's actually the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to heal ourselves, to purify ourselves. And we're not needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're relying upon his methods so we can heal ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is your teacher, your guru, your lama, your trusted mentor manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And you can imagine he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, yet untainted by them. And Vajrasattva has this beautiful, radiant, youthful, yet ageless face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. You can imagine he is looking at you in such a way, so happy to see you, no judgment towards you at all, no matter what you've done. And however it is you're showing up this evening, whether you're focused, whether you're distracted, whether you're happy, whether you're unhappy, whether you're sick, doesn't matter. Just accepts you exactly as you are. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we just do a little wee meditation on compassion. In order to develop compassion, this is the wish for people to be freed from suffering. We think we need the people that we have harmed and who have harmed us by developing a sense of compassion for them. May you not suffer. May you be free from suffering. Particularly difficult is the people who've harmed us. But we have to develop a sense of compassion for them because the harm that they've caused us will ripen as suffering for them in the future. And as I said earlier, it's very unclear when that suffering will ripen. And it could ripen at a particularly inconvenient time in someone's life. So think, I must do this practice of purification for their sake, for all of their sakes. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is actually the medicine, doing this practice, visualization and recitation of the mantra. So first we purify the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar. You can imagine it coming out of a hose or a waterfall, or you can imagine even Niagara Falls, this kind of power coming forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech, and imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just the same as, when you fill a dirty glass in the sink, maybe the yogurt or milk or something, and all the solid residue floats to the top and overflows, except this time it's more than just overflowing. It's kind of a forceful, pushing out of all the negativity of our speech. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech, including careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, divisiveness. All this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy. Your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So you won't be able to harm them unintentionally. Only benefit, only bring benefit to others. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. So when the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression and grudges and jealousy and bitterness, all this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted in all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, all of our delusions, and the cause of why we harm others. This is why we lash out with our body and our speech. These are totally purified, gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And so next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body and speech and mind. So if you would like, you can just recite a couple of mantras each for the visualizations of the body and of the speech and of the mind that we've just done. Or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Now just imagine you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve. And so first of all, just really remember to rejoice in the efforts. How amazing it is you've managed to turn up this evening and do this practice when probably you might have felt like doing something else, like relaxing in front of television, or maybe you're busy with work things. So it's wonderful, first of all, amazing. Even for half an hour you've come to do this practice. So just good job, everyone. Pat yourself on the back. And the next is, this is where the most important part of this practice actually is to make a decision to not harm, to refrain from harming. And once we've made this decision, we're starting to kind of dig in to those habits that we have, careless speech, making a joke that maybe hurt someone's feelings, or, I'm quite sure no one here is running around murdering people, but we do quite a bit of harm with our speech. And we accidentally kill things, ants and little flies and little sentient beings. So we just think of something that is harmful to ourselves and others that we know of, and think that we're going to try and refrain from this thing. And this way we're having this decision, we have some respect for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, and respect for others. So this decision we make to try and refrain, whether we do for 5 seconds or an hour or while we sleep overnight, kind of really gives us the courage to try and make changes. So to conclude, Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next, Lama Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So in this way we think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also just think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit and the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this and this morning for Jay, by doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Rinpoche, Ho tup shul chang shin jam gon Galloway, Tenzin kyong pelway kunzo dog porze, chog sum kur away leg mon to drub, Padag sog dulje gondu jab ten shok. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Kashish, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. And here we are again at the end of the week. I don't know where my life's going. Thank you very much, everybody. It's so lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow morning. Lots of love. Sleep well. And have the nice rest of the day, Jay. Okay, bye-bye. Good night, everybody.